What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and today we're going to be turning this loud Antminer L7 script mining Litecoin Dogecoin beast into a nice quiet home miner. Now, how are we going to do that? We're going to be utilizing the fruitation kit here with the AC Infinity fan. We got some silencers, kind of like what we did with our Bitcoin miner. We're going to be slapping those onto here and it will turn silent. So in theory, this miner will go from this to this. All right, so the first step you are going to have to do is shut off your miner, unplug everything. It's all about safety first over here on the Rabid Mining YouTube channel. Anyway, anything we go through here, be sure to check out them links down in the description. Everything will be listed there as well. I'd like to thank Coin Mining Central for sending out this ASIC miner. Without them, this video would not be possible. So be sure to check out my links down in the description of them. Code rabidmining will grant 100 euros off your order, and free shipping is included in the price. So that's awesome on them. Hey guys, check this out. I got another one for you. Are you looking for ASICs, but they're just sold out everywhere? Maybe you want to start an ASIC scalping business for 2025. Coin Mining Central has everything you need. They're a 4.8 star rated Trustpilot company, as well as an ASIC miner value verified company as well. And they got Rabid's stamp of approval. Depending where you live, you will get free shipping through DHL, and code rabidmining will grant you 100 euros off your order. Use my link in the description, get your ASICs today, and keep on hashing. Now, depending on the fruit kit that you do order, you will get a couple of these. I'm just gonna run through these just to give you an idea. Now, this was for the S19s, this is for your E9 Pro, and this will be for this. So what you gotta do is line up the one that you need for this output right here. So this is the measurement from your main box here to the out where your fans go in. So as you can see, this is the one we're going to need, as we're kind of flush up right there. Now we know the E9 Pro, for an example, is a huge beast where this sticks way out there. So that's where this one comes in, and you can see how much bigger that one is. But this will not work on this because nothing will clamp out. So for this one, we are going to need this little small guy right here. I kind of have the universal kit here for multiple different ASICs, but again, if ordering from Fruits, you are going to need the measurements from here to here to realize which kit you actually need as well. They're also named, so just check that out as well. But you need to order the certain version for your miner to depend on the sizes so they all line up and actually fit. So first thing we got to do here is remove these fans. So in order to get those out, we're going to have to remove these two top covers, one to the power supply, the other one to the control board. And what we got to do here is there's zip ties in there that are kind of holding the wires in for the fans. So we need to cut those, get those out, and then unplug them so we can actually get our fans removed. Now for this, I'm actually going to be using auto control feature, which does come with this right here. So I guess Fruits and Associates is associated with them now, so you can get them through them. You can also, if you already have these kits, order it directly with my link down in the description as well. But this will add auto fan control onto this ASIC to allow it to control depending on the temperature of the ASIC, so you don't have to maximize your fans, run it. Some only run them at 6. Now what I mean by 6 is originally you just get this little controller right here, and it has 10 settings. 1 through 10, you click it, the green light turns on, and that'll be full. Here is obviously level 10, 100% fans. Now this only has 10 controls, where this right here has upwards of 50 different voltage outputs, which means a lot more fine tuning. Instead of going from 10, you actually have 50 in there. That means instead of like a 6 on the other one, you might be at like, 34 or something, which is really fine tuning. It'll help with better efficiencies, and it'll ramp up, ramp down depending on the temperature of your ASIC itself. In order to remove these two top covers, it's a very simple process. It only consists of 3 screws. One right here for the button, which is a locking mechanism right now. Once that's removed, you can push this, pop it up, pull it back, and this will slide right off. And then there's 2 more right here, one right there and one right there, and that will remove your power supply cover. So again, 1, 2, 3, and everything should pop right off. Now the 2 screws that are above your power supply, be very careful with, because they do have 2 small washers, and if you drop this or something, it'll be very easily lost. You won't be able to find it unless you have like a huge magnet and all sorts of stuff. But you kind of see where I'm going here. Be very careful with those 2 screws. Now, as mentioned, all you got to do is pull them back. So back up, and this one should pop off like so. That was pretty simple. I can even do it with one hand, which is amazing. And here's a little button. We're just going to push this now that the locking screw isn't there. This one might be a little difficult because it's wider, but we can see you can push that, pull it up, and then slide it back, and then simply pull it off. So very simple process to remove those 2 covers. Now we can see exactly what we got to do here. We can see where our fans are plugged in, so we have to remove those. That's where our actual fan controlling chip from Nord will actually place in there, but we have these zip ties we got to take off. So I see this one's okay. So there's one right here wrapped around these ribbon cables, and then there's another one up here right in that little snatch there. So once we get that one done, we clip that one, and then we can remove our fans, unplug them, and everything should come out nicely. Okay, so once you get your fans off, you'll have something that kind of looks like this. So all the fans are off. Now take the screws, guards, and fans, put them somewhere somewhat, I guess, kind of safe. Here you can see I put the fans right here. I got the guards there and all these screws. These screws are no longer needed unless you want to put these stock fans back on. All right, so before I turn this over, which is the next step, I want to line up to know which way this has to go, because there are slight angles on it, and there is a way where it fits better than the other way. So to do that, simply hold this up to here, and then take the piece that would come in next. That would be this guy right here. You can see the side of the shroud out there. So hold that up to there and simply put this in front of it and see which one slides into place and lines up with the holes the best, because there are slight angle differences depending which way you have it. If you just slap it on there, it'll still work, but you won't get as airtight as you probably should. All right, once you know the alignment you want to use, you're going to want to tilt this and put the miner on its side. Make sure you are level. You do not want, like you can see here, that's slightly up here. It's not much, but it's a slight bit. Make sure you are completely level when doing this. If you have something propped up a little bit on each side, it's going to make it more of a pain. So what we got going on here is we're going to remove these fan guards here. We're going to be using the same screws to actually bolt this on. So having it this way like this actually keeps your fans in place, because they will wiggle around and whatnot inside there once you remove these. So having it like this, gravity works with you. Again, level, and then nothing should work in your way and have issues. So then you'll take this, plop it on there, screw it back in. All the holes and everything should line up, and I haven't had any issues doing it with this method. It's also the method that is described in the instructions you get with your kits. So now you can kind of see how I have everything situated. Everything is still loose. You never tighten one up. Wait till it's all good, but we do have some play in here so that you can work around a little bit. But you can see all the holes now are all lined. I don't even know if you can see that, but all the holes are nicely lined up. You don't have to worry about your fans moving or anything as long as you have this. The key thing here is being level. That makes life so much easier. All right, so once you got all those in, tip it upright again, and then slowly take it off and leave a little bit over the edge like so, because if you look at this shroud here, it actually is sitting a little lower than the miner. So if you're actually try holding it on a flat surface or a desk there, you're gonna have to tilt that up a bit, and it can be a bit of a pain. So leave a slight little gap here, and then this will just slide right on. As you can see, we'll just pop that in there. Everything's slid in. We can see it's nice and tight in there. If we look down here, all these holes and everything now line up perfectly. So you can see we're slightly off the edge a bit, how it kind of tapers down. So just slap it on right now. You can see it's perfectly in place. So now you're going to have to put the screws that came with this kit. Again, remember, we put those fan screws away to the side in case we need them later. Now this came with its own screws for this 3D printed shroud. So you're going to have to use those individual screws. They're a lot shorter here because we're not going in very far, because that gap of the fan here was like way out to here. So we don't need those super long screws anymore. There we go. We are in the mouth of the beast. So you can kind of see the ASIC chips in there. I guess more of the heat sinks that are on the chips to keep them cool. But everything lined up perfectly. There's our little, you can't really see in there, but you can see everything here is looking pretty darn good. And it'll be the same thing for the back side. So I don't think you needed me to go through anything. Just like the front, kind of tilt it over the ledge a little bit and then install all your screws. Again, these screws come with the kit itself. You are not using the super long fan screws. Okay, so now we got to get our fans all ready to go. So I did install that chip, as you can see right there. Now, if you don't get that chip and you just get the default kit by itself, you will get these fan emulators. And what's going on here is with ASICs, the control board has to detect the fans. If you don't have anything in there, the ASIC won't run. If it has any issues with one fan, some fans, the whole ASIC will just shut down. So that's kind of what these are doing. Again, these emulators will still tell the control board that you got fans installed, even though you're running it manually with that controller that we previously had. Right here. Is it gonna, okay, come on. Yeah, with this guy right here to manually control that fan. But again, this here is controlling that fan all by itself automatically, allowing the control board, the ASIC itself, to tell how fast to ramp that up. So this is a much nicer type of setup here other than the emulators. But again, you can get this with your Fruit kit, or you can get it separately in that link down below. Okay, so I do have our fan installed. All it is a little USB that will then come out. It'll go through that little tab there once we put our covers on, which will be next. And then we got our fan hanging out right here. Okay, so that is it. It's pretty much time to fire it up. Once I did get that plugged in with the USB, I just put the covers back on, reverse order of taking it off. I did install the AC Infinity silencer. Now I do have another one with the Bitcoin miner. I put it on the other side, but I'm actually going to try this with one silencer on the intake of the fan. The fan is blowing that way through the miner and out to exhaust out the window. And then I got my fan there if I need extra, you know, a little bit of a boost. But I'm going with one. We'll see how loud it is and see if I even need to run that second one or not, because this will save you quite a bit of money in terms of silencing, but again, two will probably be better off. But here I am right off the fan. This is the loud section of the whole miner now. That miner there, the L7 itself, will not make a peep out of it, and we have to worry about this fan. That's why we have this silencer right in front of it. So we're going to fire this thing up, plug it in, and see what things sound like. Now, I also want to point out, you're going to want to turn this fan on first, because this has no fans on it anymore. It doesn't know what's going on. So it's up to you and this fan to do the cooling process. If this thing goes out, the ASIC will quit once it starts overheating. But keep in mind, turn this on first before you do fire up that ASIC. That's the way you already know the fan is working and you got airflow. So I can feel there is a draft sucking in there. So this is working right now. You may be able to kind of hear it. But now I'm going to turn on the ASIC and we'll kind of take a look at power consumptions and all that good stuff. Okay, so we are online now with our nice silence ASIC, which we'll check out power consumptions and stuff in a minute. But here's our current temperatures. They are looking a little bit better than when I had the stock fans on. So that's obviously a bonus. Again, after some time, I'll get an idea of what our average hash rates and everything are in a later video, but things are looking good right now, at least in hash rate mode. So there we go. We have a nice quiet miner. So pretty much right now, the best way to describe this is think of your furnace vents. It sounds like the air coming out of your furnace. So let's do a quick decibel reading here on this ASIC. Right now with me talking, I am around 80, 78, 80, 76, you know, whatever type of decibels there. That was probably me moving it. I'll be quiet and we'll put this up. So there you can see it is quite a bit quieter than when we had the fans on, or what this thing would be like with fans on, because I don't think I actually tested the fans on. That was a previous video. So now let's have a look at power consumption. When we did test this video, we were around 3,505 watts or something like that. And now we can see we're at about 3,399, 3,400 watts. So we are down about 105 watts or so. So we can see that those fans were using about 105 watts, and we do have to tack on about 70 watts here. So we're at about 3,470 watts. based on where this fan usually runs at around that 50-60% range. Cranked up that fan. I did do a video on how much power this thing draws in the manual modes there, and it does go up to about 170 and as low as like 20 watts or something, but it does sit in that middle range of that 60 to 70 watts. So we're going with the 70 watts here for most of the time on your average. So we are gaining a bit of efficiency by using this, as well as this thing is now extremely quiet and can be used for home mining, and your neighbors or wife or kids or whatever will be able to sleep and won't get mad at you. So if you want to silence out your miner, be sure to check all them links down in the description. Thank you very much, Coin Mining Central, for firing out this L7 beast miner. I'll see you on the next one. Rabid out.